You know, if you're a better communicator, you get more opportunities. You'll be able to get your ideas out there. You'll have the impact that you want. But the problem is you don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to connect with people. The reason I create this page, Ingenious Storytelling, is because I want to help you communicate with confidence and authority through storytelling. You see, storytelling is a very powerful skill, and it allows you to connect with others because you have to remember that you have life lessons, you have experiences that you can share with others that will allow you to be able to relate to them and that will form that connection. So in ingenious storytelling, whether you want to be good at public speaking, content creation, authorship, or you want to get over and do better in business, what I would like to focus on is teaching principle-focused stories. Now, why do I say principle-focused stories? Because when you look into your life, there are principles that you live by, or your business, or whatever it is you try to do that you can use that allow you to persuade others, educate others, inspire others. And those principle-focused stories will be that glue that form that connection so you can get your thoughts across. So what I did is I want to go through, why I'm teaching these stories and give you an example what a principle focused story is. Because on this YouTube channel, that's what I'll be teaching. I'll be teaching how you can use principle focused stories so you can, communicate with confidence, with authority, whether you're trying to speak on a stage, whether you try to, teach new employees the principles of your business, or if you've tried to create content online. Now, I'm not somebody that's just talking. I use principle-focused stories in my life. They allowed me to do keynote speeches, become an 8-time author, and because of my ability to communicate with confidence and authority, I'm able to create my own business. So I figured to myself, you know what? It's time for me to start teaching communication skills. And the best way for me to do so is through storytelling. Now, this YouTube page will focus on that, and I want to make sure I make it as simple as possible so you can look into your own life and realize that you have stories that have life lessons that you can turn into principles, that you can help other people, whether you want to inspire them, you want to educate them, or you want to help your employees, whatever it is. But it all starts with you. So let's go through some of the things because I want to, define what I mean by principle-focused stories. Now, principle-focused stories are stories that teach principles that help you educate, persuade, or inspire in authorship, business, or speaking. Now, when I say speaking, I'm also talking about content creation. Maybe you want to start your own YouTube channel and you've been thinking to yourself, what am I going to talk about? Well, there's one thing you can, and that is the experiences that you have, because you can take those experiences and turn them into principle-focused stories. When it pertains to principle-focused stories, you can have personal principles from your own life that you can teach in speaking or in authorship, or you can have business principles that you teach your employees about the principles in which you run your business. So what I'm going to do is give an example of principle-focused stories, both from my personal life as well as my business. I'm going to start with the personal principle first. Now, the principle I'm going to teach you is this: overcoming your empty closet is the key to finding your purpose. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense to you right now, but I can assure you, after I share this story with you, you will totally understand. When I was 11 years old, my little sister and I just got home from elementary school. We walked inside the house, and to our surprise, our mama was standing in the living room wearing her white nightgown. She was crying. I walked up to my mama and said, "Mama, what's wrong?" She said, "Junior, go in the room and ask your dad if he's going to leave us." I said, "Where's he going?" She said, "Junior, just go ask." Now, as I was walking down the hallway, I could smell the oil and gasoline from my dad's uniform, so I knew he was in there. I walked inside the room. My dad was smoking a cigarette. I said, "Daddy, Mama said you're going to leave. Is that true?" He said, "Oh, no, son, I'm not going to leave. I'm putting a better home outside this bad neighborhood." I ran back to the living room. I said, "Mama, Daddy says he's not going to leave. He just told me. When I said that to my mom, she turned around, she walked off, she didn't say a word to me. Now, the next 2 weeks, I started to notice that the oil, gasoline, and cigarette smell in the house was disappearing. I walked to the kitchen and I asked my mom the obvious question. I said, Mama, where's my daddy? I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. She said, Junior, your daddy gone. He left us 2 weeks ago. Now, I became the person of disbelief because I didn't believe my own daddy would tell me he would not leave and 2 weeks later he'll be gone. So I went to the one place that would solidify my belief. I ran down the hallway as fast as I can. I turned left. I stepped inside my parents' room. I pushed open my daddy's closet door. My daddy's closet was empty. And at that moment, nothing but anger filled my heart. Because I believe my daddy left because he felt I was no value as his son. And because I believed this, I stopped seeing value in my own life. You see, the empty closet is a metaphor that represents those moments in our lives that we felt we wasn't good enough, wasn't worthy, our life had no value. So I want you to think about to yourself, what is your empty closet? You see, for a lot of years, that empty closet hunted me. I kept seeing that closet of my daddy leaving. I kept feeling I wasn't good enough. I started to hate myself because I hated my daddy for leaving. And I felt like I had no purpose in my life. And when I was in my sophomore year of college, I got cut from the basketball team. And I had to make a decision that was going to free myself from my misery, my anger, and my hate. I walked over to the telephone. I grabbed it. I called my daddy number. When he picked up the phone, I said, hello. He said, hey, man, how you doing? I said, hey, daddy. I want to call you and tell you that I love you and I forgive you for leaving the family. He said, oh, man, I love you too, man. And me leaving had nothing to do with you. That was between you, me and your mom. When my daddy hung up that phone, I realized that I had overcome my empty closet. And I felt this sense of purpose that I was put on this earth to help other people overcome their empty closet. And that moment led to me writing my first book, Overcoming Your Empty Closet, because I knew my purpose in life was to help people overcome their empty closet so they could believe they are worthy to be great. See, if you feel lost right now in life, I want to encourage you to focus on that empty closet moment, whatever it is that's holding you back, because overcoming your empty closet will be the key to you finding your purpose. Now, that is an example of a principle-focused story. Now, when I first said the principle, overcome your empty closet, is the key to finding your purpose, you probably thought to yourself, what in the world is he talking about? But when I told that story of how my daddy left, and you seen the metaphor of the empty closet, then it made sense to you. So this is an example of a principle-focused story and how they can help you to communicate with confidence and authority. Now, that is how you can create those principle-focused stories from your personal life, whether you're trying to speak, you're trying to write a book, or you're doing content creation. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give a principle-focused story for all my business owners, my entrepreneurs. Now, let's set up a scenario. Let's say I just hired somebody here at inGENEious LLC. And I told that individual that one of the principles of this business is to make sure our clients get what they ordered. Years ago, I came out with this shirt, and I'm going to show y'all the shirt. I came out with this shirt right here. It says, brotherly love over our differences, right? And this guy who was a vet, he ordered this shirt. He really wanted it. So the guy ordered the shirt, and I sent him an email, and I let him know that the shirt should be at his home in 2 days. And what I did after the 2 days were up, I sent him another email to see if he got the shirt. Well, he sent me an email back. He said, Gene, I still have not received the shirt. I don't know what's going on. And so I waited a couple more days. I reached out to him again, and he still did not get the shirt. Now, I was just about to send him a refund, but then I asked him, just out of curiosity, where are you actually living? And he told me where he was, and he was here in the state that I'm in, and he was only like 55 miles away from me. So at about 10 o'clock that night, I say, man, will you be up late at night? He said, yes. I say, I am going to bring you a couple more of those shirts. So I jumped in my car. I drove 55 miles from where I'm at, and I gave him 2 shirts. And the reason I did that is because here at inGENEious, we make sure our clients get what they order. Now that is an example of how you can use a principle-focused story to educate your employees or your contractors on your business principles. We are moving in an AI age, and I believe what's going to set you apart is your ability to tell stories. And the easiest way to do so is through principle-focused stories, because the better you can communicate with confidence and authority, the more you're going to stand out, especially when everything is created by AI. People may think that if you wrote a song, that AI created. People may think if you wrote a book, AI wrote it. But if you can stand on a stage, if you can get on a camera, and you can communicate with principle-focused stories to be able to teach the lessons that you learned when you wrote that song, to be able to teach the lessons you learned when you had to create that, that business. Those principles that you extract from your life are the key to allowing you to communicate with confidence and authority. So if you're somebody, you want to become a better communicator, and you want to be able to use your life stories to do so, I want you to subscribe to my channel, inGENEious Storytelling, because we're going to be focusing on helping you to become a better communicator so you can speak with confidence and authority through storytelling.